My parents made me pay $50 for every mistake I made, and by age 12, I owed them $487,000. The red ledger sat on the dining room table. I was 5 when my father first opened it and wrote my name at the top, Adrian Castellano. Below that, the first entry, spilled juice on carpet, $50. My mother stood behind him with her arms crossed. You need to learn that actions have consequences. Every mistake after that went into the ledger. Forgot to make my bed, $50. Talked back, $50. Got a B minus, $50. Left my backpack in the hallway, $50. By age 6, I owed $3,400. Every Sunday was ledger review. My father would make me read each entry aloud while he calculated the running total plus 8% compound interest annually. This is how the real world works, he'd say. Mistakes cost money. You're learning young. By age 12, I owed $487,000. When I turned 13, I started noticing discrepancies. Entries for dates I wasn't even home. Broken items I'd never touched. One entry read, made mother cry with disrespectful tone, $50. I was at a school field trip that entire day. During ledger review, I brought it up. My father adjusted his glasses. We've started recording anticipated mistakes based on statistical probability. Teenagers lie and hide things. We're calculating what you've likely done but haven't admitted to. My mother nodded. It's predictive accounting. I stared at them. You're charging me for things I didn't do? My father made a note in the ledger. Questioning parental authority, $50. The entries got stranger. $50. Wasted father's time with homework question. $50. Existed selfishly during parents' anniversary. $50. Breathed too loudly during movie night. I started documenting everything with times, dates, and witnesses. During the next review, I presented my evidence. My father glanced at my notebook and pushed it aside. Your records are irrelevant. This ledger is the official family document. He flipped to the back page where a legal stamp sat embossed in gold. It's been notarized by our attorney. Any challenge results in a $500 penalty for insubordination. My mother smiled. We're doing this because we love you. Someday you'll thank us for teaching you real accountability. I looked at that gold stamp and felt something die inside me. My friends at school started noticing changes. I stopped joining them for lunch because I couldn't afford food. Everything I had technically belonged to my parents, applied against my debt. My best friend Connor asked why I was always anxious. I tried explaining the ledger system, but halfway through, his face changed from concern to disbelief. That's insane. That can't be legal. But I'd seen the notarized stamp. My parents were accountants, professionals who understood money and law in ways I never could. Connor suggested talking to the school counselor. I told him I couldn't. Speaking to outsiders about family finances, $200. I'd seen that entry before. The isolation was suffocating. Every conversation became a calculation of potential debt. Every friendship felt dangerous. My world shrank to just me, my parents, and that red ledger that controlled everything. On my 15th birthday in September, they announced the payment plan. My father called me into his home office, where he and my mother sat behind matching desks, the ledger open between them. You're old enough to work now. We've arranged a position at our firm. 20 hours weekly at minimum wage. Paychecks direct deposited to us and applied to your debt. I did the math in my head. $400 monthly against $487,000 plus compounding interest. Over 100 years to pay it off. That's impossible. I can't pay that in my lifetime. My father slid a document across the desk. That's why we've structured it as multi-generational debt. Your children will inherit the balance. I stared at the paper. My signature was already on it, dated from when I was 7 years old. I never signed this. My mother's voice was cold. You did. We have video evidence. Our attorney assured us it's legally binding. The document outlined everything. Refusing to work added $5,000 as breach of contract. Seeking outside employment added $10,000 for violating exclusivity. Speaking to relatives about the debt added $2,000 per incident for defamation. Attempting to leave before 18 added $50,000 plus immediate legal action. My parents had thought of everything. What if I just refuse? I asked. My father pulled out another folder. Inside were liens against my future earnings, documents claiming ownership of any inheritance I might receive, and a lawsuit already drafted for the full amount, plus emotional damages for my ungrateful attitude. Everything was signed by a lawyer named Gerald Brubaker. I started working at their firm the following Monday. They set me up in a windowless basement storage room. Every Friday, my supervisor handed me a paycheck. Every Friday, my father took it before I could even open the envelope. Applied to your debt, he'd say. After 6 months of working, my debt had grown to $512,000. The interest accumulated faster than my payments. I mentioned this during ledger review. Perhaps you should work harder, my mother said. Request overtime. Show some initiative. But when I asked my supervisor about overtime, he looked confused. Your parents specifically instructed maximum 20 hours. They said you needed time for schoolwork. They designed a system I couldn't win. When I realized this, I decided to make them regret every single entry in that ledger. Full story is linked below or on my channel.